My name is Tom. I am a 65-year-old boring guy whose only hobby is drinking. That day I was drinking at my favorite snack bar. Talking with the owner of the snack bar and stirring up my favorite drink were my only pleasure. That day, however, someone interrupted such fun. That was the group of 5 men who entered the restaurant a few hours earlier. They looked like a bunch of gullible people, laughing ungraciously with their gahahas and engaging with the other guests. I was indeed unable to resist and glared at the men. Then the men seemed to notice the stares.
Hey old man. What are you staring at?
One of the men started to approach me.
What are you complaining about?
The man made such an angry noise and came at me. So I couldn't ignore it either. You guys are making too much noise. You know, all the other guests are gone because of you. After these men arrived, the other customers looked annoyed and left the snack bar, one by one. The only people in that snack bar then are me, the owner, and the 5 annoying guys.
What? I don't know. They left on their own.
With no reason.
That's right. Do you have any proof that it was our fault?
I sighed at their childish excuses. They were a real pain in the ass.
What's wrong?
And then, another man came after hearing the argument.
Hey, John. Listen. I'm annoyed with this old man. He is so brave, isn't he? You are very brave, old man, to get involved with Bob. Even when he just walks around the town, ordinary people would open the way for him.
Indeed, the man known as Bob was quite stout and strong-looking. He has the appearance of a debt collector.
Well, he's an old man. He's probably a bit old by now. Well, he's an old man. He's probably a bit old by now. He's so blurry and drunk, he'd probably bump into a telephone pole if he walks near one. What kind of joke is that? That's a bad one, isn't it?
He followed that with another loud and coarse laughter. I can only say that they are really annoying customers.
Old man. You're not engaging with a telephone pole right now. Do you understand?
I know that. I know that, and I'm saying it. Can't you at least drink more quietly? The man's face clouded over at my words.
Damn, old man, you better get a grip.
And then,
Guys, that's enough of that.
Emmy, the snack bar owner who always took care of everyone coming to her shop, tried to intercede by saying so. But I convinced her that it was okay.
What's okay? Hey. Are you looking down on us?
You're just saying whatever you want. The bottom line is, shut up. Can't you understand that?
I said, that's a lame way to talk. Who the hell do you think you are? We're the Mongrel Gang.
Mongrel Gang. It was a name I had heard of. Although not a gang in this area, I had heard rumors that they are a very fearsome group.
We're gang members, gang members. Do you understand? We can handle an old man like you any way we want. Do you understand?
I didn't say anything. However, I stared at the man called Bob for a long time. It was indeed proof that I was getting frustrated. Bob must have noticed those defiant eyes of mine. Sure enough, he snapped.
You've got to be kidding me. What's that look? Don't stare at me. I'll beat you to a pulp.
Bob said so and came at me. But, Emmy tried hard to intercede.
Wait a minute. Please, I don't want any trouble. Shut up. It's none of your business.
With that, Bob brushed Emmy off. Emmy stumbled and hit her hip on the counter. I couldn't ignore what happened to her. Hey, you guys. Does the mongrel gang lay hands on civilians? That's supposed to be against the law in the gang world.
Don't you dare talk about the extremes. You know what? We are gangsters. We don't give a damn if it's an ordinary person or a woman who opposes us.
Are you trying to say that the mongrel gang is an uncivilized gang?
I said, don't talk back to us. I'll give your whole family hell if you keep doing so. You've made Bob lose his temper. Hey, old man. You should apologize honestly. If you get down on your knees and apologize properly, we'll forgive you. We are not demons. But if you go against Bob and don't even apologize, he will really screw you. You don't want to put your family in danger, do you?
Certainly, getting down on one's knees right then might settle the matter. But I just couldn't forgive these guys. Must I say sorry to you guys? No, I don't think so. It's you who should apologize. It would only make sense for you to get down on your knees and apologize to me and Emmy. At my words, Bob seemed to have decided to act.
Hey. You guys come on.
Bob called in the other 3 associates. They are probably gang members, too.
Don't run away, old man.
As he said that, the 5 of them approached me. But again, Emmy intervened.
Give him a break already. Hey, why have you been so annoying since just now? Let's end it here. Otherwise. Huh? What? If you mess with this man, your lives will be in danger.
Hearing Emmy's words, the 5 of them burst out laughing. They did not seem to believe her advice.
What are you talking about? If you're going to tell a lie, you should conjure a better one. I know, right? No matter how much trouble you don't want him to get into, that lie is just too much. No, really. You're annoying. Get out of the way. But you can't stop us.
Bob then threw the glass in his hand on the floor.
No. Hey, you've been annoying me for a while. Besides, this old man. I'm going to destroy this disgusting store. Hey, you guys. Do it.
Bob gave his signals, and the other 4 men began to run amok in the store. They smashed liquor bottles, threw chairs, and kicked tables.
That's what happens when you mess around with the mongrel gang.
The 5 of them laughed and destroyed Emmy's precious store. I realized from the bottom of my heart that the mongrel gang was really a bunch of helpless people. That's why I made up my mind that I would never forgive these guys.
Good. Destroy everything.
With the 5 of them destroying the restaurant, I signaled Emmy with my eyes. Emmy immediately noticed my eye contact and understood its meaning. Then I sneaked off to the back of the store.
Hey, old man. Look at this. This is all your fault. This is what happens when you get involved with us. You know what I'm talking about. I told you to get off your ass and apologize. That's why I don't like stubborn old men. So now it's your turn, old man. You know that I'm going to punish you for messing around with the mongrel gang, don't you?
Is the mongrel gang that scary? I said that quietly.
What? You still don't understand how scary we are in this situation. You're really not that stupid, are you?
There are probably more frightening things than the mongrel gang.
What are you talking about?
There are 2 types of gangsters, you know. Those who abide by honor and those like you who don't give a damn about it. Ironically, the latter, who seem to lack any sense of honor, appear scarier at first glance. Gangsters like you would resort to violence if your mood is spoiled, regardless of the opponent being a civilian or whatever. However, the truly terrifying ones aren't like that. They are the ones who abide by honor. If you go against their code of honor, they'll chase you to the ends of the earth. They'll show you hell, no matter how long it takes, no matter the cost.
What the hell are you trying to say?
And I said my name. I'm a little late in introducing myself. You must have heard of me. My name is Tom. When I said this, the expressions on the faces of Bob and the other four changed. They suddenly stopped moving and kept a straight face.
Yes, what did you just say?
Tom. That's what he said.
Oh, Tom. Is it that Tom? Tom, the hero of the underworld. And isn't he a legendary gangster?
The name Tom was so famous in the gang world. There are probably no gangsters who do not know about it. My father was a gang leader, and so I became a gangster by natural progression after graduating from junior high school. As the heir to the Killer Bears gang, I worked hard for the gang. We have done plenty of dirty things. It was a war with the Chinese mafia that led to my being called a hero of the underworld. During that period, the Chinese mafia turned its attention to the US, and a number of territories were raided. The mafia grew bigger and bigger, many groups were robbed and it became uncontrollable. The Chinese mafia became the enemy of all gangs. At that time, the Killer Bears called for the mafia extermination operation, and gathered members from various gangs to form an allied mobster force. I was the representative of that. Then, one by one, we crushed their hideouts and finally forced the mafia to retreat. Then the Chinese mafia, fearing the Allied forces, stopped working in the US. In honor of this achievement, I was called the hero of the underworld. As a result, I saved various groups from the Chinese mafia, and the benevolent groups are still indebted to me. If I get into a pinch, gangsters from every group will come to my rescue. In other words, to mess with me is to make an enemy of the entire underworld.
Ugh, you're lying. You're that Tom. There's no way there could be such a coincidence.
It's true, so it can't be helped. By the way, I'm the chairman of the Killer Bears gang now.
You're talking out of your ass anyway, aren't you? Tom is a famous person, so it's not surprising if the public knows at least his name. Did you think that mentioning the name of a big name would scare us off? I won't play into your hands. But, Bob, if it's true, isn't it bad? If this old man really is Tom, we're making enemies with the entire underworld. Idiot. What are you scared of? No, but what if? Yes, well, sure.
Bob seemed awfully cautious. It seems that the name Tom has a great effect.
Oh, hey you. Prove it.
Prove it?
I said, prove you're Tom. You must have something. A driver's license or something.
No.
Insurance cards and such.
No.
Like a smartphone.
No.
What's the matter with you? You don't have anything.
I don't bring my phone with me when I want to drink slowly. Whenever I drink here, it's always on the tab, so I don't even carry my wallet. When I said this, Bob and John began talking in secret.
Ugh, that sounds so fake. It could be a lie after all. Yeah, that's right. I guess that means it's really a lie. Maybe, but if it were real, it would be bad, wouldn't it? I wonder what my boss would say. If we make enemies of his group, I think our group will abandon us immediately. There is no way our group can beat the Killer Bears gang, and the other groups will also join them against us. The boss will abandon underlings like us quickly. It's not good. It's bad. Is there any way to identify him? It's hard.
It seemed as if they could not get confirm what I said. So I walked into their conversation with a solution. Don't worry. At my words, they looked at me and said,
What?
if I stay here, it will soon be proven that I am Tom.
What do you mean, soon to be proven?
And then, the door to the snack bar opened.
Boss. Are you safe?
It was the current head of the Killer Bears gang, Leon, who came to us. He came rushing into the snack bar with about 10 gang members in tow. In fact, the eye contact with Emmy earlier was a signal for her to call them. Emmy and I have known each other for a long time. Emmy knew the contact information for the group as a matter of course.
Is it you guys? The mongrel gang who got involved with our chairman.
The five screamed in a stifled voice at Leon, he. Since it had come this far, they would have indeed believed that I was the real Tom.
No, we were just teasing. Oh, that's right. I guess you could say I was being a little too playful.
A little too playful. Then explain to me what's going on in this store.
Looking around again, the store was in a terrible state of disrepair. It was only natural, since they had been on a rampage just a few minutes earlier.
Maybe there was an earthquake. Yes, that's right. There was a very localized earthquake that shook only this store.
No, of course not. You guys are prepared to lie at this stage of the game, aren't you?
Leon grabbed Bob by the chest. But I put a stop to that. Leon, don't do this.
But, boss.
I don't want to cause any more problems here.
Oh, that's how it is. Yes, sir.
Leon is a quick-thinking man. Ever since my time as the gang leader, he quickly understood my intentions with few words. That's why I trusted him to become the next head of the gang.
That's it. Do you guys understand?
What do you mean?
Why don't you understand? I told you, we're not going to cause any more trouble for the store.
Does that mean you'll forgive me?
That's very positive. But of course not. I mean, you're all going to my office.
Hearing these words, the five of them looked hopeless. And they moved right away. Only Emmy was left at the store while the rest of us headed for the office. We arrived at the office and pushed the 5 members of the mongrel gang into a room. Then,
My apologies. I'm sorry.
the 5 apologized verbally and got down on their knees. However, the gang world is not a lenient world where such a level of behavior is tolerated.
Do you think you can just apologize and be forgiven after getting involved with our boss?
I didn't know you are the boss of the Killer Bears group.
I'm not asking if you knew about it or not. The only thing that matters is the fact that you messed around with our boss.
I'm sorry. But it was the chairman who first started to give me a hard time.
What?
I'm sorry.
Boss. What do we do about these guys?
I guess. I stood in front of Bob, who was on his knees, and said, "You guys, you were saying I'm stupid and a blabbermouth."
Are you out of your mind? Did I say that, hey? Did I say that?
The other man then replied,
Yes, you did. No. You're selling me out. You told him that directly, so there's no way I could mislead him. You do something a little better than that. Even if you tell me that.
"He is right. You think you can cover up what happened in that store now?
No, 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 I would never.
You did say I was stupid. What do you think now? Do you think I'm stupid?
No, I actually wanted to say you look strong and healthy. Yes. I would say you are so young that you don't feel your age. Do you have a secret to your youth?
Shut up. You kids. What on earth are you blabbering about now?
Please forgive us.
Look, I don't care if you guys told me I was stupid and a blabbermouth or not.
I think we heard it from you.
What?
No, no.
The most unforgivable thing I can say is that you guys went on a rampage in that store and hurt Emmy. Yes, I myself don't care what they said. What I couldn't forgive about these 5 was that they harmed the store and Emmy.
I'm sorry. I will pay for everything I broke.
Pay for it and pretend it all never happened, is that what you're saying?
No, no, that's not.
You even raised your hand at Emmy at the snack bar.
I didn't so much raise my hand as I lightly shook it off.
No excuses.
Excuse me.
It is against the law in this world to lay hands on a civilian. We can't just overlook gangsters who don't know that. You already know what your destiny will be when you come here. I will never forgive you. You are gangsters without a shred of humanity. I am not so kind as to forgive such people. You and the mongrel gang must take full responsibility for your actions. Do you understand?
Okay, okay.
Finally, we finished talking about what needed to be done. Leon, please.
I understand. Okay, take them.
Leon instructed his crew to do so. Then the gang members around them gathered around and forced the 5 to stand up. Then, let's go.
Where are we going?
The port. Hearing this, the 5 panicked.
Oh, please. Please don't do that.
It would be better for the world and everyone else if gangsters like you disappeared. Not only this time, but you've been raising your hands to ordinary people for a long time now. It's time for you to pay for that.
I will never, ever do this again. Please forgive me. Please help me. Please.
There's no point in saying anything now. If you were going to repent, you should have done it at that snack bar. It's already too late.
No.
All right, take M. And then, the door to the room opened with a bang.
Tom.
It was Emmy from the snack bar, who had been with us earlier, who came into the room shouting. She probably headed there after we left for the office. She knew the place from the beginning and is familiar with the gang members. So it was easy for her to come here since she knew where to find them.
Please, just not the port. I beg you. Please forgive me.
Bob and the others were still begging for forgiveness. Emmy saw this and said,
Please, forgive them.
Did they feel a sense of hope when they heard Emmy's words? The 5 suddenly stopped begging for their lives. Why did Emmy, who was a victim herself, ask us to forgive these 5 people? Why should I forgive these guys? You're a victim yourself.
But they didn't do anything that terrible. They've said terrible things, they've broken things, but they haven't hurt anyone.
That's only this time. If we leave these guys alone, they'll hurt ordinary people someday. In fact, they've probably hurt them in the past.
Please stop this, Tom. Please forgive them.
What's your reason?
No. But if everyone knew how scary you were, I'm sure everyone wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't say that. I said that and tried to end the conversation. But even so, Emmy was still biting back.
Please. Tom. Don't do this anymore.
If we forgive these guys, the killer bears will be criticized. We are the ones who are in charge of all these groups. If we overlook the gangsters who messed with ordinary people, then even the guys from the other groups might mess with ordinary people. You know that, right? Because of our group, the gangsters around here can't mess with ordinary people.
I know. But I'm still telling you not to.
Why?
Because I don't want you to hurt anyone anymore.
Her words left me speechless.
Tom, don't hurt anyone for me anymore.
Suddenly, old memories came back to me. It was a memory I wanted to forget but could not. During a time of frequent warfare between the Chinese mafia and the allied forces of the US gangsters, an incident occurred. 3 civilian families were involved in the war. I didn't put my own hands on them. But it was me who decided to attack the Chinese mafia on that day and in that place. I made the decision to raid that day, knowing that it was an area and time of day with a lot of civilians and that I was risking involving the public. Then 2 of the 3 family members, the father and mother, died, and only the daughter survived. The surviving daughter was Emmy. I have always regretted that day. That is why we have been helping her financially. I then transformed the Killer Bears group into a group that protects ordinary people, rather than one that hurts them, and grew it into a group large enough to unite other groups. I thought that would be the way to make amends to the 2 people who had died and to her.
I know you worked hard for me, Tom. But that's enough. I don't want to see you get hurt, and I don't want you to hurt anyone, even if that person is a gangster. I don't want anyone else to get hurt like my parents did.
Since she told me that much, I couldn't do anything else. The reason I was trying to punish the mongrel guys was also to make an example to them and the other gangs of what happens when you mess with ordinary people. In fact, because we have done so until now, other gangsters in the area have not been able to touch the public. But if she doesn't want us to do it, I guess we shouldn't do it anymore. Hey, you guys. I say this to the 5 mobster who went on a rampage in the snack bar.
Yes. What is it?
Can you promise?
Yes.
I'm asking if you can promise you'll never touch a civilian again. Yes, yes. Of course.
I will never touch them again.
The other 3 also spoke up and said,
I promise.
You know what would happen if we found out you were messing with the public?
Of course. It's a direct course to the port, right?
Correct. Remember that. Our gang will be watching you for a long time.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Finally we had a conversation. Leon.
Yes.
Let them go.
Yes, sir.
When we released the 5, they thanked us and fled. Thus, the dispute with the 5 gangsters was settled.
I'm sorry for asking for so much.
When I dropped Emmy off at the snack bar, she told me this. No. It's my apologies for reminding you of something painful.
It's nothing for you to apologize for, Tom.
No, but...
Tom.
The sudden loud voice retracted the words I was about to continue.
You have to forgive yourself. Your regret and apology are well understood. Please don't apologize anymore.
I get it.
Please come back for a drink then. I'll be waiting for you.
Oh, I'll be back. I'll be back to visit you.
Well, then.
Then Emmy and I separated. After I got the public involved in the war that day, I thought my redemption was to change the underworld. That is why we protected the public and showed no mercy to the gangsters who harmed the public. But perhaps we need to change our way of thinking in the future, and the night made me think. A few months later, I was having drinks as usual at Emmy's snack bar. The interior of the restaurant, which was a mess that day when the 5 gangsters went on a rampage, has been completely cleaned up. This was because all the members of the mongrel gangs covered the repair costs and replaced all the broken items.
They even replaced all my old stuff, so it's a lot nicer than it was before.
Then Emmy laughed. I've been thinking about how I should live my life since that day. And I finally found the answer. After what happened last time, I've made up my mind.
What?
I'll change my way of life. I'm going to stop hurting gangsters to prevent them from touching ordinary people.
I see.
But we can't leave the gangsters alone with the civilians. So I'm going to make sure I don't hurt them, and I'm going to make sure they don't get their hands on the public.
You don't hurt anyone and you protect the public. How are you going to do that?
Threaten.
Huh?
The guys from the mongrel gang have become a lot quieter since that day. I've found that threats are effective enough, so I've decided to keep them that way from now on.
I don't feel that's a lot different from before.
Really?
Yes, that's right. Well, if that makes sense to you, then maybe that's okay too.
My sins will never disappear. And what is lost cannot be regained. That's why I'm going to spend the rest of my life atoning for that sin. Thank you for listening to this story. We look forward to hearing from you. Please subscribe and rate our channel.